but I'm also going to share my screen. Let's just see if this works. Sorry, give me one sec. Okay, so I can see you, Kathleen. Can everyone else see my screen as well? Just pop something in the chat box if you can.
Yeah.
Awesome. Great. So Kathleen, thanks for volunteering yourself. We're just going to have a bit of an exploration about this situation that you've got in terms of your job and not your job, but also experience some crankiness about it. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to explore this with you, ask you some questions, and track it on the virtual whiteboard. Is that going to be okay with you? Awesome. So I'm just going to draw a bit of a, here's you. And and so you mentioned being cranky. And so what is it that you're cranky about?
Having no say in this scenario.
Okay, and what's the scenario?
Being released from my job.
So, okay, so you've got no say in being released from your job. And so this is, released. And what does it mean to you that, you don't have a say in being released from your job?
It's about fairness and procedure.
Okay. And what do you mean by fairness?
I feel I should have been interviewed or consulted or spoken to rather than just dispensed with.
Yeah, right. And so what do you believe, Kathleen, about, that they didn't consult you and they dispensed you? What do you believe about that?
A lot of people, most people in the workplace are nasty and small-minded.
Okay. And so how does that relate to the fairness of not being consulted and being dispensed?
Because those people that are that dispensed with me are being less of a person than I would expect from myself.
Okay. And so what's the frame of reference that you're holding in mind, Kathleen, about this people or this person being less than a person than you would expect? Being nasty, being small-minded. What's the reference point?
I'm not sure. I'm sure there is one, but I can't put my finger on it.
Okay. Is there a movie that you're running in mind about this particular person being nasty or small-minded?
Yeah, the movie is that internal culture wins every time.
What does that mean? If I was to be able to see this movie like you see it, to understand the internal culture wins every time, what would I see? What would I hear? What would I feel?
That you can paddle upstream, but you're not going to get anywhere.
Okay. Is that a belief?
Yes.
Okay. So you believe that you can paddle upstream, but you're not going to get anywhere because of the internal culture.
Yeah.
What do you believe? Excuse me. What do you believe about this belief?
I believe it's almost intractable.
What do you mean by that?
Because it's been proven to me twice over that you can't.
You can't what?
That the Goliath usually wins.
How are you using the word Goliath?
Yes, I know. It's an oxymoron because David won, didn't he?
And so when you're saying Goliath, what are you referring to?
That disparity between the two players at loggerhead.
Are you talking about the organization? Are you talking about your manager? Are you talking about, the team, the culture? Who's the Goliath?
Goliath is the corporation and the management and the culture.
Okay. And so it presupposes, so this disparity, that it's been proved to you twice over that the Goliath usually wins, presupposes you lost. Do you believe that?
Not entirely. Not on paper, yes, but on the day, no. But on paper, yes.
Okay. What does it mean to you that you lost on paper?
All those nasty labels like unemployed, get a job, don't just get a job, get a better job.
Okay. What does this say about you as a person? That you're unemployed, that you lost on paper? What does this say about you as a person?
Well, not much really. It depends whose game I'm playing because there's more than one way to skin a cat. And if I can survive without the continuity and the linear processes that it's deemed we must have, then I'm still a survivor.
Okay. As you say that you're a survivor, how does that feel for you?
Well, you just have to. There's no point. You can't give up.
Are you talking about me or talking about you?
About me.
Okay. And so how does it feel when you see yourself as a survivor?
Yeah, it feels good.
Is this how you've been seeing it before?
Yes, no doubt.
Okay. So where does the crankiness fit in?
Just that thing about common decency, the right of reply.
Okay. And so this comes back to this fairness that you should have been consulted rather than being dispensed. That most people are nasty and small-minded. They're being less than a person that you would expect yourself. The internal culture wins every time, and you can paddle upstream, and it's been proved to you twice over that Goliath wins and therefore you lose. Is that how you do crankiness?
Yeah, that's how it gets me there. Yeah.
You just cut out for me. You cut out for a moment. I didn't quite hear that. Is that how?
Yeah, that's how it gets me there. The
Yeah,
line up.
yeah. So that's how you get yourself there. Hey,
Yeah.
what's the positive intention for you to think this way?
I suppose the positive intention is to say, oh, look at me, look what I've done. I've stepped over this giant obstacle, and I'm a survivor.
Yeah. And so it sounds like the positive intention for you to think this way is to see yourself as a survivor.
Yes.
Now, so can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah, great.
Yes.
So it sounds like, and correct me if I'm wrong, that this is the way in which you create this kind of crankiness for yourself. So in terms of being released from your job, you are saying, I've got no say in being released, and it's not fair. I should have been consulted rather than being dispensed with. And because I was dispensed, most people are nasty, small-minded, and they are being less than a person than I would expect myself. And really, the internal culture wins every time, that you can paddle upstream, but you're not going to get anywhere. And it's been proved to me twice over, Goliath wins and I lost. And so this is the experience that you get because you're going, I want to be a survivor, but you're getting cranky about it. And you're getting angry 5 weeks on. Is it serving you? Do you currently feel like a survivor when you're thinking about this 5 weeks later being angry about it?
Serving me? No, it's filling in a little bit of time, that's all. But it doesn't serve me because I've already overcome that hurdle. I've already moved on, but it's just sort of ruminating.
Yeah. And so what's the positive intention of ruminating on this?
I suppose it's just going back and checking the details and saying, did that really happen? How could it happen? Why did it happen? Oh, shit, yeah, it's already happened.
And so I'm not clear on what's the positive intention of ruminating on it.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe just. Well, that's the way I feel it is actually, because it's such a shock to my system that I do actually look at it from a distance and think, did that really happen? So it's sort of a way of double checking, like, I didn't just dream it up.
Okay. And so is this serving you to double check it, triple check it 5 weeks on? Did it really happen? Oh shit, it did happen. I'm still angry about it.
No, it's not serving me at all. I mean, I've already done the hard yards, but yeah, I have to put it to bed eventually.
Okay, you don't have to. Would you like to? Or would you like to hold on to this disparity, this unfairness?
I absolutely want to release it.
Okay. Now, if you could wipe the slate clean and think about this differently in service of being a survivor, what would you like to think differently?
I think I've already started to tackle that, in that I'm seeing that being a survivor is actually quite a malleable thing.
Okay.
Like in malleable, it can change fairly rapidly and be distinct to myself.
Okay.
So that's a good thing to, a good way to be a survivor, I'm hoping, because it's a
Yeah.
learning curve.
Right. What's a learning curve?
Being a survivor,
Okay. What's important to you about learning?
making something new out of something old.
Right. What do you believe about making something new out of something old?
That you can make a silk purse out of a sow's ear.
Okay. Haven't heard that one before.
I think it's in the Bible.
Okay. So what
Not
is
that
it?
I,
A silk purse out of what?
silk purse out of a sow's ear,
A
a
sow's
pig's
ear.
ear.
A pig's ear.
Yeah.
So you can make a silk purse out of a pig's ear. What does that mean to you?
I'm very clever.
Yeah. The word that comes up for me is resourceful.
Yeah, yeah. I'm actually a vegetarian, so I wouldn't be toting around a pig's ear.
Okay. Yeah. And so when you think about being released from your role, and that actually it's a learning curve and an opportunity for you to make something new out of something old, like being able to create a silk purse out of a pig's ear, and that actually in doing so, you realize your own cleverness and resourcefulness. How does that feel?
Yeah, really good.
What does really good mean? What's the experience?
It feels empowering.
Okay. Now, if you had a choice, because you do, Kathleen, would you rather feel cranky that you lost, that the internal culture won, or would you rather feel empowered because actually this is a learning curve and you get to make something new out of something old? Which one would you like to choose?
Yeah, I've already chosen the learning curve, and I'm doing really well.
Yeah. And so will you, anytime you find yourself being cranky or angry or annoyed, will you remember that actually this is a learning curve, an opportunity for you to make something new? Cool. Well, thank you so much for sharing, Kathleen. Really appreciate your honesty.